Each level of life is blocked by an identity that you haven't killed yet. Let that sink in. Each level of life that you wanna entering or the level you wanna exit is blocked by an identity, your identity, that you haven't killed yet. We say you can't bring old wine into a new cup. What does that mean? You don't build a new self when you go to the next level. You don't build a new identity. You kill the old one, holding you back from entering that. You see, my friends, each level of life, each chapter of life has its own story, right? Own challenges. It has its own suffering, joy, but also an identity that keeps you stuck. An identity that causes everything you try to escape from. Now, if you want to level up in life, if you want to go to the next level, or at least leave the level you're currently stuck in, you would like to know this. I spent my last money that summer 2017 on a MacBook because I wanted to learn Swift coding. It's coding with iOS. I'd spent all my money that summer partying, celebrating. Life had more plans for me and I could feel it. I could feel that there was something else meant for me. So what did I do? I bought my MacBook Air that summer to learn coding in order to start creating applications. My entrepreneurial journey became a spiritual journey. It forced me to face every single identity in every single level. I had to face it. It was like playing a game. And in order to level up, go to the next level, I had to face something. And that something was always within. The identity blocking me from actually receiving, from actually getting the insights and solutions I needed to get to the next step, to actually feel myself in flow, to have this joy, bliss, not just in life, but in business. Whatever project I take on today, I do it with ease. I navigate with ease. I get the solutions. They come to me. I meet the right people. There is flow, not force, because I learned to let go of the identity. This is the secret, guys. You have to kill the identity in order to come back to this flow of life where everything unfolds naturally with ease. Today, I feel like a fucking monster in a good way, a beautiful, cute monster, not the awful one, the dark one. Not because I added something, but because I subtracted everything that wasn't me. When it comes to work, when it comes to finding solutions, when it comes to leveling up, not because I added something new, but because I removed all these masks, these identities that were blocking me from moving forward, that could have been blocking me today to find these simple solutions and insights on my entrepreneurial journey. Now, this secret is not actually a secret, but it was something, and it is something that all sages, all teachings from all ages have been pointing to. The release of the identification, not just to level up, but to come back to presence, to flow, to alignment with life. I didn't level up by adding more. I leveled up by killing every version of me that couldn't go to the next level and next floor. You can't bring old wine into a new cup. You can't bring with you an old avatar with old beliefs, old system, old programming into the next level. You have to let it go. And the main question becomes, how do you know what the old avatar is? How do you actually know this programming? This is the key, guys. You never attract what you want in life. You always attract what you haven't felt yet. So life will always show you an old identity, the old avatar that you have to release in order to get to the next level. If you are striving to get to the next level, you will activate the process of externalize the unhidden parts of yourself in your reality. They will show up as challenges. They will show up as situations. They will show up as people. Because whenever you react to this, whenever you react to a situation, to people, to circumstances, it can be in business or in general in life, that's a trigger point. That's a signal to something you are resisting within you. And that something is the old identity that you have to kill. You follow along. Every single trigger, every single reaction you have negatively to life, to people, to situations, in business, in relationship, it doesn't matter. Whenever you feel frustration, anger, uncertainty, fear, that's a signal to a resistance within, you that you're holding on to, an identity you're holding on to within. And it's not until you release the identification, this identity with all the beliefs that is creating it, that you actually can move forward to the next level. That's why some people stay stuck. When it comes to business, they create huge results, they get to a high level, but then after a couple of months or a year or years, they feel stuck. Not only stuck with the business, but stuck generally. Like, they earned the money, the result came, there is something missing. That joy, that flow, that creativity that was there in the beginning of the process, when you felt like alive, energized, it's gone. It's the identification. So let's take an example. Let's go back to business, because I have been on this path for many years. As I told you the story back in 2017, investing in my MacBook. Now, the typical unexpected things happen. The typical setbacks that you have that you didn't count on. You have a timeline in your mind and you expect things to happen in a certain way, and then something completely different happens. So most of the time, most people gets frustrated. There is a negative emotion behind the situation. Oh, it shouldn't be like this, or they should do better if it's people you react to, or fuck, it should be in this way, not that way. Oh, I need to fix that now. I need to do this and that. The reaction is pointing you to an identification within, the resistance within. What is it that you hold on to? Now, behind that identification, there are beliefs. These beliefs could be how you perceive business and life. It can be life in general, but how you perceive business. It should be in this way, not that way. It works like this. This is how you see it. This is how you perceive business from your lens, your perspective. All these beliefs, doesn't matter what they are, but they are shaping this identity. And when you are attached to this identity, when you are attached to this role, like an actor, you are bringing the role with you back home. You are an actor, you have a role. Your name is John in this role. And John has a lot of problems, suffering, problems, business, life, everything. Now, you go into this role so hard that you forget that you are actually you. You're still identified with John. You forgot who you truly are. So whatever happens in life outside work, you are filtering it through the lens of John. And now you try to fix your life problems, the situations, through the filtering of John. But it doesn't work, because John was the problem, not the situations. Because you saw the situations through the lens of John. You have to kill the identity, you have to kill the role. So, identities, beliefs that shapes identities. We have the thoughts, the stories we keep telling ourselves, right? Now, behind the identity and all these beliefs that we have, all these thoughts and stories, there is a stored emotion in your system, in your nervous system. And this is the secret of all secrets. When you learn to work with the emotion behind the stories, behind the beliefs and identification, you go to the root of the problem. You release from the root. Now, one emotion can have 1,000 thoughts and beliefs. It can be the emotion of fear, it can be the emotion of uncertainty, it doesn't matter, but it's always an emotion. So if you go back to the wave, to the signal of how to find the identities and how to find the beliefs behind the identities, Every situation that you react to negatively is pointing you to the resistance within. Every reactive trigger you have, every time you trigger to situations, to life, to people, to business, anything, it's pointing you to that identity you have to release, that you have to kill. And you locate the feeling behind it. You locate the emotion and feeling behind those stories. You're not working with the beliefs. You're not trying to change your beliefs. You're trying to dissolve the charge, the emotion. And when you do that, the beliefs will dissolve with the charge. The identity will dissolve with the charge. The trigger you feel from a situation is the invitation to the next level. That's how you level up. That's why sometimes we can say that life is testing you, right? That's the test. But most people are running away from it. They're running into the mind, and then they try to fix the mind with more thinking. The negative emotion is the entry point, not the enemy. So this is the mechanism, guys. We have situation, circumstances. We're in business challenges. A negative emotion, something happens. You react negatively. That trigger is your entry point. Oh, I'm reacting. Where is it pointing to? To the emotion within. So the practice becomes, when the trigger hits, try to write it down. Or if you don't want to write it down, just become aware of it. I'm reacting to this situation. Okay. And you start to notice the stories you keep telling yourself. It shouldn't be like this. It should be like that. I fucking hate this. Write it down. What do you feel? I'm feeling frustrated. I hate this. Raw dump. Trigger. Situation. What happened? And then, what do you feel? What do you think about the situation? This is how you start become aware of the trigger point, but also start to work with it. Now, after you have written down, raw dumped, whatever you feel and think about the situation, you leave that. You leave the mind, you leave the process, you leave the writing, and you locate the emotion and feeling in your body. What is it? For me personally, whenever I do this, I'm still doing it until this day, because there are still some identification for each level that I have to release. But the process is fast. Whenever it hits me, I write down the trigger. The more I write it down, the more aware I become of it. It becomes natural. This whole process becomes natural. Like I do it in real time, but I write it down. I write down what I feel, what I think. I get it out from the system, and then I locate the feeling. The feeling is always somewhere in my chest, in my stomach. Sometimes I can feel like stiff in my shoulders, in my jaw. You locate the feeling in the body, and the process becomes sitting with the feeling, accepting the feeling. This whole process of killing your identity, it's not about a fight. It's not about fighting something. It's about releasing and surrendering. It's about accepting. That's the only way you can release it. What you resist persists. If you hold on to it too much, if you try to grip and force, you will never be able to release it. I always bring the example of holding on to a pen. When you grip too hard, that's why you are stuck. That's why you are too identified. The role I told you about before, John, you're playing the role, you're gripping too hard. But when you learn to locate the feeling and emotion in your body, you sit with it, you breathe into it, it's fine. And you just do that over and over. And you will start to feel that the charge, the feeling, it can be a warm feeling. It will start to dissolve more and more, like getting out of your system. And when it does, you will also notice that your mind will slow down. The stories you keep telling yourself. And what's left, it's clarity, presence. You come back to your true self, which is not the identity. The identity is an illusion. You come back to your true self. Presence, and you feel relaxed again, you feel in flow again. And if you are in a situation in business, for example, as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of, reactions, reactivity, and you do this process, you will notice that you will feel more clear and calm. And from that clarity, from that calmness, from that presence, what's emerging is the insights and solutions that you were looking for. Because now you killed the identity, you removed it from the game, and you're ready to level up. And you level up by knowing what to do and how to do it. But that's not your worry. That comes naturally. It could be like an inspired action. You take action, solutions. But even if it doesn't emerge, you don't stress about it. Because when you work with emotion, when you come back to clarity, there is actually nothing to fix. There is actually no wanting or desiring to change anything. There is just presence, relaxation, this knowing that I will fix this. No problem, no rush, no stress. This is like cutting a tree on the same spot 1,000 times. Whenever it comes back, you do the process again. And at some point, you don't even have to write it down anymore. You just do it naturally. You just sit with the emotion, locate it. And don't underestimate the practice. Your mind will try to tell you that it's too simple. We always want complexity. It tries to lure you into the complexity of things. Don't trust it. We are cutting the tree in the same spot over and over. And with time, similar situations won't trigger you anymore. And the identity is dissolved. You have killed it. You won. This is the inner game, guys. This is living life from the inside out. It's working as an entrepreneur in business from the inside out, that inner game. And if you have any questions, feel free to make a comment. Take care.